Hello, auditors. Welcome to Open Dollar code4rena audit for October 2023. I'm Joseph Shirizzi. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO and lead Solidity developer on Open Dollar. And I'm so excited that you found our repo. There's over $35,000 in prizes for our audit. And today I'm just going to do a really fast off the cuff explanation of Open Dollar and a quick introduction to our repo and smart contracts and how things interact with each other. So this will probably be a good way to start getting ready for the audit and to learn more about our protocol. So just as an overview, Open Dollar is a stablecoin protocol being built for Arbitrum, where we've changed how debt works. And in every other DeFi protocol, debt is tied to accounts and is non-transferable. And in Open Dollar, our CDPs are actually owned by transferable NFTs. And so that means that you can sell your NFT and sell a debt position without having to pay it back first, which opens up a lot of great new use cases. So our audit is primarily focused on the list of files here, and it does not cover every single aspect of the stablecoin or the JEB framework that we've built it on top of. The primary things that we're looking for is things in the proxy folder in contracts, which is the OD proxy, Open Dollar proxy, the Vault 721, our safe handler, and other things related to that, and other improvements to our oracles and oracle relayers and accounting engine improvements. So just to start off there, let's jump into what some of these contracts mean and what they do and what their actual goals are, which I think is very important to understand briefly. We've supplied this Figma diagram of our entire system, and I think it can be very overwhelming to look at immediately and just jump into. The safe engine is the same as MakerDAO's and is mostly forked from there. And the rest of this is mostly built using the JEB stablecoin framework. And so we don't need to audit all of this. We don't need to really understand a lot of it. For the purposes of this specific audit, we can kind of treat the safe engine like a black box that any call going into it, we can assume is correct, and any result coming out of it is correct. The main thing that we want to look at is how the user is interacting with vaults, because now, as opposed to MakerDAO or Reflexer or High and other code bases that are very similar, users can transfer safes with NFTs. The proxy registry has been converted into the Vault 721 contract and some other changes. So let's talk about those right now. This is the main intro of how a user is going to interact with their safes. And their safe is something that they can use to deposit collateral and borrow a stablecoin from. And if we come over here, the safe engine does all the accounting for debt, for how much debt people are allowed to take out, how many stable coins there are, and all of that. Every safe that is created has its own safe handler, and the safe manager creates all of those. So whenever someone creates a new safe, a safe handler contract is deployed, and the safe manager keeps track of all of those. So there's only one safe manager, but there's one safe handler for each safe. Similarly, there's also a proxy factory built into the Vault 721. So that means for every user, each user has their own Open Dollar proxy, which is exactly the same as a DS proxy that you might be familiar with from other DeFi protocols that use the DS proxy, is very popular. And we made a few very small changes to create our Open Dollar proxy. The proxy is less flexible than a DS proxy and is specific to the Open Dollar protocol. But as a result, instead of having to transfer proxies or use any type of things like that, each NFT can be used to access a safe. So let's talk about that for a moment. A user wants to open a safe and wants to create a new NFT or create some kind of collateralized debt position or long liquid staking token that we accept as collateral, a user is going to call into the Vault 721 contract. And if they don't already have a proxy, the proxy registry that is a part of this is going to deploy a new proxy for them using the proxy factory. And so each user gets their own proxy. If you transfer an NFT to a user that does not have a proxy, they get a new one deployed for them at that time. And when the user wants to deposit collateral or generate debt, they can use these action files that kind of simplifies the different steps and functions that need to be called in order for a user to take one of those actions. The OD proxy decides to execute that code and sends it through the individual safe manager. The safe manager knows who owns each individual safe and uses that to call the safe handler. The safe engine knows which safe to interact with, which ID to use, etc., because each safe handler is unique to that particular safe. So the primary additions that we've created here is, just to summarize, the Vault 721, which creates an NFT position that owns each individual safe. It's referred to as NFV, non-fungible vault, throughout our code base and in our documentation. And we tend to use the term safe or vault or NFV interchangeably depending on the situation. So we're particularly interested in seeing if there's anything wrong with permissions or access control, or trying to create a situation where a safe is owned according to the safe manager by one user or end address, but the NFT corresponding to it is owned by someone else. And if you can find anything or any way to create that situation, you're going to win the audit. If you have other questions, feel free to jump into the Open Dollar Discord and let us know. And otherwise, happy hunting and good luck on the Open Dollar audit. Thanks, everybody.